Eratosthenes of Kirin, ancient Greek mathematician, astronomer, geographer and poet, was the first in the world to determine the size of the Earth in the 3rd century before Christ. To that end, he took the meridian arc between the cities of Siena and Alexandria. He calculated the linear measure of the arc length by the time and average speed of the camel caravan, and the angular measure by the height of the sun. The result was a quite accurate size of the Earth. Later, Eratosthenes' method was called Great Measurements. It was constantly improved and used to refine the size and shape of the Earth until the era of satellite measurements came. The lone and most accurate measurement of about 3,000 km long meridian arc was performed in the 19th century Russia. That enormous task was initiated and performed by the military geodesist Karl Friedrich Tenner and the professor of the University of Dorpat, Friedrich George William von Struve. Tenner was responsible for the area between the Western Dwina River and the Danube mouth. Struve's responsibility spread from the Western Dwina to the apex of the Gulf of Bosnia. Surveyors from Sweden and Norway walked from there to the Barents Sea. Struve headed the whole project for 40 years, until 1857, when he presented to the Paris Academy of Science a 2-volume work with drawings and the description of the geodetic part of the work. In 2005, the transboundary Struve Geodetic Arc was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Geodesists from 10 European countries undertook to preserve it. That great astronomical and geodesic endeavor of universal value left many memorable rarities in the world. To find and keep them for the future is an important cultural task which should not be hampered by national borders or politics. The first part of Struve general project was to measure the meridian arc segment between the Western Dwina and the island of Gotland. In the summer of 1820, he bought a universal angle measurement tool in Germany and examined the distance measuring instrument. The following year, the construction of the pyramids began on the stations chosen by Struve. The most difficult part of the work was to overcome the wide Gulf of Finland. To see the geodetic station on the island of Gotland, it was necessary to climb high on the southern shore of the Gulf. For that purpose, Struve used the bell tower of St. Maurice Church, built in the town of Harjal in the 15th century. Before the fire of 1831, the wooden tented roof of the bell tower was 25 meters higher than today, with the rooster on top of it. After the fire, Struve station points on the bell tower were lost. 34 years later, a new tented roof was built, and this is its modern appearance. Today, St. Maurice Church in the Estonian town of Harjal is a memorial to the centuries-old history of the region. But the church's role in the history of geodesy was forgotten. It was remembered when geodesists from St. Petersburg and Estonia decided to join their efforts in order to restore Struve station point. They received strong support from the present pastor of the church, Miss Margit Nilgi. This stone tower has witnessed over 500 years of history. It has seen peaceful labor and wars. It was painted with fire, with weapons, and with surveying instruments. Climbing up the old steps, you feel Struve's presence with the fifth sense. His station point was at the very top. With the help of archival drawings kept in St. Petersburg, the places were found where Struve's instruments stood. It took a surprising skill to perform the necessary measurements in such difficult conditions among the interlacing beams. The surveyors of the Estonian company Monada did the same. They could restore Struve station points. The main one is the projection of the spire of the year 1826, the south point of the Struve Arc. The only thing left to do is to make it accessible to visitors. An important role in Struve observations was played by the heliotrope. This instrument allows catching and sending the sunbeam in the required direction. A mirror and a sight are installed on the board. Through the hole in the mirror, the sight together with the mirror is pointed to a remote geodetic station, where the observer with the instrument is located, thus sending him a bright sunbeam. An auxiliary mirror allows sending a beam at any sun position. The mirror position must be adjusted constantly so that the beam does not wander. Thanks to the heliotrope installed on the church tower, Struve was able to observe the direction to it from the Goglet Island. In August 1826, the gulf was clouded with the smoke from the fires, through which the sunbeam made its way. Struve's assistants steered in Fedorov without any contact with the observers. For 6 weeks was catching sunlight and sending a beam to the distant island. In the following year, 1827, Struve climbed up the church tower in Halial again and observed the direction to the heliotrope set on Gotland. The largest part of the Gulf of Finland was overcome. Struve's station points on the church tower in Halial were successfully restored in late 2015 in memory of a man whose father, grandfather, and great-grandfather were pastors in this church. His name is George Sabler. Perhaps it was under Struve influence that the young George fell in love with science and took a different path. He became a student and then the colleague of the astronomer and geodesist Struve. Interestingly, it was Sabler who carried out the last field work in his teacher's project. He brought to a close the measurements, having determined the astronomical latitude of the important station of Nemesis. The cooperation between the surveyors of St. Petersburg and Estonia enriched the Transboundary Memorial of the World Science, have restored one of its most important and interesting stations, as well as the old architectural structure on its 3,000 kilometer length.